What's up guys, Rick Denham here, Holy Moly Outdoors. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're diving back into the video vault from a few years ago, just around the same time here of Labor Day. I filmed this video in preparation to release it, but decided to hold off because I wanted to gather a little more information. But really it's coming back to something that's a fun, super effective way for you guys that don't have boats to catch some salmon here in Puget Sound. So stay tuned. This is going to be a really fun and educational video, so you're not want to miss this one. So thanks for tuning in today and enjoy the show.
Hey guys, Rick Denham here. Gonna walk you through today pier fishing for salmon in Puget Sound here. It's a Labor Day weekend. We just had a fresh shot of rain. We're gonna have a lot of fish pushing through. We have a mix of kings and silvers starting to show. It's a great time of the year to get out and enjoy this great fishery. And with that, we have a unique opportunity as well for the vast variety of fish that are in Puget Sound. We got the kings and silvers, like I said, but you have a vast amount of bait options that these fish are going to be specifically targeting as they enter Puget Sound. So I'm going to cover today the different types of baits that are available, ways to target with your gear, and then some scents and different alternatives of baits to use for those that aren't so familiar with this fishery. So let's get started. On my left here, we got the crippled herring, a very old standby, very effective lure here for Puget Sound. And we have a 2-ounce model here, which is a general unique but effective size. So I like using the 2-ounce for my sake because it allows me to give a little bit more weight for further casting, but in turn gives me a little bit more feel as that jig is dropping through the water to have a better sense of knowing when you have a strike or not. So the next one, I have a custom painted herring, bleeding herring I guess you could call it, jig that I made up, and it's got a hoochie skirt on the end for added attraction. Really helps. This is a great shallow water targeting bait. Then you have jointed herring imitations, prism foil, you have short compact dart lures in both a bigger size and smaller. It just depends on your bait profile. So there's your herring. Well, now then you can look at candlefish as the next option. These are going to be a little bit longer baits, usually about 6 to 8 inches, depends on where they are, but they're going to be slender in profile. And these candlefish imitations are a great way to target these. So you're going to be catching kings and silvers with the herring. Now it's not to say you can't catch a silver on a candlefish, but due to their location in the water column, you're more than likely going to be catching kings. So these are a great way to target kings if you're specifically going after those. And so what a nice feature with some of these baits is that you can bend them. And you can see that I've bent a little bit of curve into this bait, so as it gets pulled through the water, it's going to give a wounded action that these fish can't say no to. So a great effective way to add a little bit more fish catching action to your own bait. Next we have a great herring imitation or candlefish. It kind of falls in between the two, but a great color profile and action in the water. And as you move down, you start to get to kind of the mid-range size, but different action. You got a flutter jig here and another one, and this is a jig I poured. So you have a lot of options that you can do, whether buying commercially, make your own. We get to the end here and we have our buzz bombs. I really like throwing buzz bombs for silvers. It's that time of the year when the silvers start showing up that these can be very effective. You can throw your bigger sizes, you'll get kings on these as well, and I frankly really like these 2.5 inchers, and then you got the Zingers as well, which is the same kind of concept, just a different profile shape. But with the buzz bombs, I have found a very effective way to rig them that'll add more strikes to your experience. So I like to rig them on a short leader that gives myself a swivel at the top, and then I thread the buzz bomb on, put a bumper bead, tie a swivel on the bottom, and then have my hook there. And at that point I thread a hoochie over the top of that swivel. So now as this bait flutters through the water, it has a hoochie skirt that's going to flail and go with it. So very effective, both silvers and kings, and I really found this one last year in particular to be very effective on the silvers. So very neat. You have a lot of options, like I said. Can't forget though, you could be throwing spoons out there. Crocodiles are a great option as well. This is the big size. It's a 2-ounce model. This will work really good for throwing for kings, but you can find silvers chasing this too. A great herring imitation for a spoon. Very effective. But for some, let's just say that you may not want to be throwing jigs all day, because it can be a workout, it can be cumbersome, it does take a little bit of time to learn. So there's another option that we can go into, and that is, if you want, you could be casting a float in your herring. So let's break that down. So now we've covered your tackle with jigs, let's look at a quick alternative that you could be using to catch salmon off the piers. Now for some, this takes a lot of work. It can be hard jigging every single time and can make yourself pretty sore. So an alternative to this would be fishing a float for silvers and kings. And now this can be very effective. You'll be fishing a herring underneath this, and who doesn't like watching a float dive under the water with a salmon attached to it? So what this is, the 6-inch dink float tied to your main line, set as fixed, but you can also fish them as sliding as well, or use a different float if you like a sliding. You're going to run your leader down to, I definitely would advise running a swivel, and you can fish a banana trolling sinker, or you can do like I did here, and this is 2 half-ounce egg sinkers on swivels. So this makes a great way to fish this and eliminate line twists. So again, it's about these are 2 half-ounce to about an ounce total. That's about what you want to fish for those other ones as well. And I'll run a 4 to 6 foot mooching leader, and the nice thing about these, you can buy them pre-made if you like, if you don't want to tie your own, or you can tie your own. And what I got here is my setup like I would use to fish a herring, but a little additive I like adding is a hoochie skirt on the top. Now this allows a little bit more flash and profile to that bait that just looks a little bit different, but that can mean more strikes for you. So very effective alternative for those that don't necessarily want to be casting all day long. So there you go, a great other alternative. So now that I've covered your jig selection, I want to just touch base on a couple other things. Now, normally I carry a variety of stuff with me, and a great way to do these is a small little box. Now this is for my buzz bomb box, and in here you can see I have everything organized by color more or less, and you can just keep track of everything in a smaller area. You don't have to have a big tackle box with you, and frankly it makes it a whole lot easier to just have a couple small boxes instead of one giant one. So that has been a very effective way for me to minimize the amount of gear that I'm bringing with me in my outings. And another thing I want to touch base on here is the scent. So it's very important to mask your own with some kind of form of commercial scent that's out there. Now there's a lot of very quality stuff, and given that we have a variety of fish species you're trying to imitate as far as bait fish go, herring you cannot go wrong with scent wise. And so Mike's makes a very good herring gel scent that works great. Just squirt a little bit on there, very effective. And to be honest with you, of late I've been fishing a lot of this A.N. Sporting tuna scent or sardine, They even have a herring as well. Works great, easy to apply, hardly any mess, very effective. But they have come out with something that's even better for these hardware types of fishing, and that is the scent stick. And very similar to that of a chapstick, and the same with the application. You can undo the cap, wipe it on the lure, put the cap back on, and you're fishing, and you have no oil mess on your hands, no nothing. Quick, easy, get back to fishing and reapply your scent. That'll help add a lot more strikes to your fishing. So give those a try, especially reach out. I would recommend to A&N Sporting. This is an up and coming, very good product that I would recommend trying out. So you want to also keep in mind the regulations. So the fishing here in Puget Sound is barbless only for salmon. So all my jigs here, even my mooching rigs, are all barbless. Just to make sure you guys follow the rules and regs. Go ahead and read through your fishing pamphlet if there's any other questions you have on that. So let's talk about gear. Now, terminal tackle wise, we kind of covered this, but we'll look at rods. So I just basically have a medium heavy action 8.5 foot bait casting rod. Works great for these heavier jigs and casting for the kings and silvers. Now, this is an 8.6 10 to 20 pound rod. Works great for casting those ounce to, you could throw a 3 ounce on here and feel really good about the way it feels. I'm running 15 on here right now, only because we got silvers running now, so I'm going to lighten up my jigs just a tad. But with the kings, I'm running 20 at least. But a very effective setup paired with a higher capacity Abu Garcia 6501. Very effective for an all-around use reel, but I really like using this setup for kings and silvers off the pier. But don't be limited to that. If you have only a spinning rod, very effective as well. You can throw all these variety of baits. You can throw lighter baits easier than you can with the bait caster. So keep that in mind, that you're not limited to just a bait caster if you would like. So, but give these a try on your next fishing outing on the piers, and good luck. It's time to go get them. Fish on.